And we're here.
Oh my gosh.
What's going on?
Oh, are we up?
We're up.
Awesome,
Is it
man.
live?
We are live. Welcome to the show. Everybody who is joining us on YouTube and Twitch.
Hey, yeah, thanks for everybody joining us while you're locked in your house out there. Appreciate you tuning in. You could be doing a number of things. Uh,
Nothing better
yeah,
than this, though.
nothing better than this. This is as good as it gets while you're quarantined.
That's right.
This is my first time streaming. I'm a total noob to this. I've never streamed anything. I always thought it was something you kind of did accidentally while you were drunk and you accidentally pressed the wrong button on Facebook or some
I mean,
shit. And
yeah, no,
ruined
that
your
happens
life.
too, man.
Those are the best streams.
Yeah.
I've always had the same.
That's how people end political careers, dude.
Right. I always thought it was going to be the end of me. And maybe it will be here. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
living it
this
out.
is it right now. This is
You're a little overzealous there.
But these guys have been streaming for a while. Conrad, Patrick, Justin, Joe have all been doing stream on Twitch for quite a while as Cave House gamers and have a lot of polished assets that made a pretty cool stream. And a couple weeks ago, we were thinking about doing a local screening for folks who hadn't seen it yet as a way to still be in the same space to show our film to people who hadn't seen it at a film festival yet, but not just send them a link to where maybe we don't even get a response from people.
Yeah, seemed pretty impersonal.
Right. So, the apocalypse popped off, and it seemed like the next best thing. And these guys have created a bunch of cool assets that quickly got repurposed into what we got here now. And hopefully it's an enjoyable experience for everybody. And if it goes well, maybe we'll continue to do some streams like this and talk about some of our other projects and just kind of connect with people while we're stuck in our house.
The downside is that even if it doesn't go well, we're still going to do it. So
yeah, I'm still gonna do it.
It's like, what else am I doing?
Yeah.
All right. I have nothing else. Real tree, big trees over here, ready for the blood.
All right. The blood's coming. Lots of blood.
Yeah. So I think another interesting aspect to this, though, is like the instantaneous feedback. We have Jessica Felice. She's jumped in on the YouTube, but on Twitch, you can see both YouTube and the Twitch chat. Jessica Felice is our main actress in this. She played Veronica in this, and you'll see it here in a little bit. So if you guys have any questions that you want to direct to her, please do. She's sitting there in chat. And I think what I'd like to do, Derek, if you're good with it, is before we do it or after, you want to go through what everyone kind of did on it and how the project started and what kind of the genesis of Succubi Scry was before we watch it?
Yeah, I think that's a good starting point. Probably a lot of people here haven't met some of us. That was another thing that kind of wanted to do, that have been going around to the film festivals and showing the film. And Justin has joined a couple times, and everybody was there for the Magic of Horror down in Richmond. But some of the ones down in North Carolina and down in Roanoke and Mysticon and the Ocean City Film Festival, Justin was there for that. But it was just me there, and try to talk about everybody's part that they contributed to the film. But it's not the same without having everybody together to kind of have a joint experience. So
OC Film Fest.
Woo.
So
who's Big Tree? Is that Jared, or who's Big Tree? Who are you, Big Tree?
If you feel comfortable giving your government name on the internet.
Okay, it's Jared. Hey, what's going on, Jared?
What's up, Jared?
All right. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The OC, definitely.
Yeah, it looked like a good time. I wish I had made
Yeah,
it.
that was great. I mean, they really pulled out all the stops there in Ocean City. I mean, they had the freaking mayor there. They had people represented from the film office there. It was like a takeover of Ocean City. That was a lot of fun, and that was like the last weekend of fun before everything got shut down. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
glad all that happened before everything.
Then we got to
Shit.
see our stuff in an actual theater with nice heated reclining seats. I mean, it was definitely the best place that we had our film shown so far.
Yeah, it
that I've
looked
been to.
awesome.
Nice.
Unfortunately, some of us just couldn't make it out. Like we couldn't make it to a couple of them, but the photos looked awesome. It definitely looked like probably the most professional.
Yeah,
shit.
perfect
Like,
timing. Perfect timing after all of this stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything just got shut down. So anything that got completed at this point is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Film festival wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although the next weekend we were in the Slasher Film Fest up in Peoria, Illinois, and that one still went on.
It went on anyway. I didn't realize
It went on despite everything else shutting down.
Watch them numbers start popping off in Illinois. Fucking psychopaths, man.
Got to big them up for that.
Yeah.
Suffering through the pandemic. Yeah, that's a whole other subject. Maybe we'll talk about that some other time.
Don't put that out there. Don't suffer through the pandemic, homie. Oh
Don't be
God!
like
I don't care if you got like a scratchy throat. If you fucking 2-week quarantine,
Yeah.
just get after it, man. Don't. God.
Yeah. Stay away. Stay home. Don't be like those spring breakers who look like idiots. Did you guys see those?
If I get the corona, I get the corona.
Dude, that's definitely proof that like the medulla does not fully develop until 25. Like those kids are just trying to get after it. They're just trying to find some honeys. Everyone's swiping right on every dating app they got.
Yeah, they're gonna jack the drinking age up after all that shit.
I'll just wait till the big one hits. This is just a test.
Yeah. So the film festivals, each one has a different kind
did he
of culture
apologize?
to it. And it's all been a very different experience in different cool ways. But I'm gonna talk about that maybe on another stream down the road or something.
Well, it is pretty. I mean, you guys, Joe and Derek, have made stuff before that's been seen by a wider audience. But me, as an audio guy, I'll just drop it in, and then I oftentimes don't get to see what happens as a project evolves and what goes on in the lifespan of a project. So it's a first for me, like walking into a film festival and hearing my audio in like, you know, in a theater setting and watching people like dig it. Usually I'm a hit it and quit it kind of a guy where it's like, oh, here you go. All right, peace, on to the next one. Here you go. All right, fuck off. You know, so it's weird to actually have like a passion project, because normally it's easy. Cave House used to do for hire stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to fall into this thing of like, we're going to make this thing and it's for you, and you don't really attach yourself to it because it's a wedding or it's a bachelor party or it's a feature, and it's not a passion for you, it's a paycheck for you. It's easy to, you know, to fall into that, but it's got to be different when it's like, this is my story, it's going to be done this way. We looked at hundreds of actresses and found the right one, hundreds of actors and found the right, you know what I'm saying? And then to see it through to the lifespan of it to where it is now, it's totally different than, you know, filming a funeral or whatever Cave House used to do. You know?
Yeah.
That's a whole other separate stream.
That's
too.
another story. But yeah, filmed some pretty crazy stuff. No, it feels really good to complete it, because it's a long and can be frustrating process.
Yeah, we started the whole process on this concept really back in 2016.
Yeah.
And then it probably had about half dozen different variations of possibilities. And I went to grad school for about 2.5 years, and then came out of that and rekindled it, and in a very different direction.
It was going to be a period piece
Yeah.
idea.
just trying to get the cost as close to zero as possible.
Yeah.
And because we were in a transition point of rebranding from doing services for hire to kind of explicitly becoming a creative narrative outlet and just being storytellers.
Right.
So we needed to get something out there to kind of rebrand ourselves a little bit. So we needed to do something short and sweet and not logistically over complex. Although when it comes to the visual effects, I'm sure Joe and Justin are gonna argue that point.
This is pretty damn complex. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what
The
in terms of
production
the
day.
script, in terms of the production, in terms of what it actually required us to pull off. One room, one
Yeah.
actor, one actress, mostly assets we already had. Just trying to get it down to the bare minimum as possible, and then build on top of that as after we moved with it a little bit. But to get back to what Conrad was trying to steer us to, Joe and I were producers on it. I wrote the script and directed the production, and Conrad, not even sure really how to define his role. I know he likes to claim audio.
Fuck boy. Sorry. Sorry.
He's a total glue guy, though. I mean, he can do motion graphics, all kinds of graphics with Photoshop and Illustrator, and I don't know. He can play a half dozen instruments and DJs, and is an audio wizard.
That was my job on this was the audio. Typically it's audio score, but as you'll hear, it's a micro short. You should know that now, right? So if you're like, oh dude, I got to sit around for an hour and a half and watch this just to be polite, you don't. It's 5 to 6 minutes.
You got to
all
listen
right?
to us
Relax.
talk shit. You got to listen to us talk shit for an hour and a half before you get to watch it.
But on a 5 to 6 minute, spoiler alert, there's not really room for score. So on this, it was sound design and Foley work and audio ADR overdub type stuff. But everyone that you see here on the screen, with 2 exceptions, this is Cave House Studios. Like, this is all we have. So it's like, okay, cool, I can do it with a poster, or I can make this. You have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, Justin, who is behind a camera for the majority of the time, not going to get away with just being the guy behind the camera. You also have to do something else in order to make it work. You have to be kind of cohesive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I did. Sorry. Continue, Derek.
Yeah.
No, that was good. And Patrick also filled in with a lot of the production audio.
Mostly on set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Production day audio.
Well, he helped me out a lot with a lot of the design elements. Just telling me what looks good, what doesn't look good. He gave me a lot of really good feedback when I was just creating a lot of the effects that were going on into it. So
I would
Patrick is
imagine
by
that's
far our harshest critic.
yeah,
He will tell us
exactly.
our stuff is garbage if it's garbage.
yeah.
That's got to be so important, man, because I would imagine as you're
It
going
is.
through frame by frame by frame by frame, and you'll see some of the effects that we've put into this, that these guys have put into this, and you're literally going frame by frame by frame by frame, redrawing every single outline. You're going to get tunnel vision as to this looks good, but then you get this bias that this looks good because I've put 32 hours into this one effect, and it better look good.
Yeah.
But then you get Patrick, who's like, no, that's weak, and here's why.
Right.
You need that. You
need
need
it
that,
big
so
time.
you don't start drinking your own sauce, you know?
Yes, definitely. So he did help in the post on that front as well. And then me and Justin did the VFX for the most part. Derek, you helped out a little bit on that, but Justin did the lion's share of the rotoscoping, and I created.
What is rotoscoping, if you're not familiar with rotoscoping?
Well,
So
Not an
rotoscoping would
easy
be
thing, so
if
don't
you
just
take
say it.
if you take one clip, like one video of me just sitting, and you want to put me in something else, you essentially have to trace me out of every frame and then overlay me on top of whatever else it is that you want to put me.
And we shot this at 60 frames per second.
No, 30.
No,
Was this 24, 30? So for every
Still a
single
lot.
second, you have to trace out 30 different instances of that character for
Correct.
every single second that they're on the screen.
Correct.
A good example is Waking Life, if anybody's ever seen that.
Right?
Scanner.
Or Scanner Darkly.
Or Darkly also.
Yeah.
And typically it's not that. There are tools now that make it a lot easier, but we learned from this shoot, absolutely. One of the ways that we shot it was definitely not an easy way when it comes to the rotoscoping, by having Jessica standing in front of a mirror with the mirror directly behind her, so she's a reflection behind herself. So the automatic tools didn't really work, so I had to do a lot of it manually.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to...
Shall we
Yeah, and then we can talk about the meat and potatoes, because I feel
Yeah.
right now it's a lot of context without reference.
let's watch
Yeah.
it.
Yep, let's do it.
All right,
All right.
so I'm going to kick it off. I got to mute our microphones here. And I hope you guys enjoy it.
Here, yeah.
It's been 58 days since I lost my wife. Everyone seems convinced it was the pills, but I'm certain that the church group played a...
All right, we're having a little problem here. Hang on a second.
But I don't
Oh,
know.
we're still
Thank
muted,
you,
by the
Thank
way.
you. Thank you, Colin. I'm sorry, guys.
We're still muted, by the way.
It's all good.
Explain all that again while I try and fix it.
Oh, no, we weren't explaining anything. I made some really funny jokes. Story of my life. I'm trying to deliver gold here. Motherfucker still got me muted. Patrick, you were starting to say something?
Oh, I was just curious of how he's trying to run it over there. Yeah, it seemed to be choppy. We're trying to figure that out. But it's not watched together.
No, it's not. It's not in a watch together. It's not high enough res. So hang on. Let me try something else here.
Yeah. Pick up, Sean.
All right, you're gonna be
Thanks, man.
talking over a black screen, so
Okay.
I'm gonna try and see what I can do here.
Talking over a black screen. Which is really the best way to digest me, is just to hear my voice and not to see my face.
I'm on the radio.
All right, let's try.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the smooth sounds of Cave House Studios Radio.
Let me try a lower res version. Okay, I think this is gonna work. All right. I think this is gonna work now. Hang on.
It's been 58 days since I lost my wife. Everyone seems convinced it was the pills, but I'm certain that the church group played a role in driving her to the depths. The late night gatherings and the strange locations were easy to overlook, but something about how the deacon said Veronica is still with us has led me to attempt my own unorthodox methods. Now, after 19 summons, I'm finally getting the ritual down to an efficient and repeatable process. The Magus has been instrumental in its instructions on piercing the veil. I'm now able to focus my intentions more clearly, to channel Veronica.
I thought you'd come to expect me by now.
But I didn't invoke you. Every moment I can steal back is worth whatever the cost may be to my sanity. Does this mean you found a way through the veil?
There is something I need from you. Before I can break the pool of the underworld.
The underworld? Anything, Veronica. Just tell me what must be done.
Spill some of your blood into the bowl of oil and light it like usual. But this time, I want you to stare straight into the mirror. Look at me.
Look directly into the mirror?
It's the only way to liberate me from the confines of this world.
Whatever it takes.
All right, mics are up.
Name.
Oh no. All right.
So the mics are back up, or
Yeah,
no?
we're back. Cameras
All
are
right,
Hey,
we're back.
hooray us.
Cool. Hope everybody
Hooray.
enjoyed that. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us and watching it. We're not done yet. We got some
Yeah, there's
Yes,
another
yes.
VFX video, right?
Roll advantage on Mirror Girl.
yeah.
Um,
little D&D humor for you. Yeah, we got a VFX video that we can show you guys also.
well, I think one of the before we just like blast them with something else here.
Right.
So there was a lot of crazy shit that went into that. And thanks, guys. Appreciate that, Haldane.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
There's so many subtle little things that people can miss. There's a scene where Brad, right, our main character, lights the bowl filled with blood, and then there's a two shot right after that you saw with Jessica in the mirror, and Connor, who's that's our actor's name, Connor, kind of recentering back on the mirror. And if you look, Justin took the time not only to add that lighting still in the bowl, but then all of the occlusions that cast up onto the wall. And you know, I just wanted to throw that in because when he made that, it blew my mind that the effect looked so good. I was looking for it, and I just accepted it as a part.
It's an easy effect to miss, but it really does help sell it.
Yeah, exactly. And that just impressed me. So I just got to give a shout out to Video Dick, Justin.
Thank you.
That was all him, and that shit looked killer. He put this VFX reel together of kind of, and Jessica will attest to this. It was done at fucking noon. It was a bright ass day. So all of the stuff that had to go into making that, they put a VFX reel together. We put a VFX reel together to show you kind of befores and afters and the stuff that went in, and then kind of walk through what that process was like, so you can get a better understanding of the kind of dedication that went in on Joe, Justin, and Derek's part to make that look good. We shot it in a day. Yeah. It took 4 or 5 months in post to get it to where it is.
No,
it wasn't quite that long.
But it was like 3. It was like 3.
Yeah, maybe closer to 3.
I think 3.
Man, but it felt like it.
It felt like it. It was 8 and 10 and.
It felt like I opened
13-hour days.
13-hour days, yeah. I mean,
the Ark of the Covenant. It just felt like it was sucking the life right out of me.
Yeah, it did sometimes.
But one thing I wanted to add to that, part of the reason we shot it the way we did with, we basically just shot it with floodlights.
Thanks, Hext.
Because we've had a prior experience on a 48-hour film fest project a couple years ago, where we had a director of photography not really understand what we were trying to do with visual effects and putting green screens up and stuff, and had a panic attack and got sick and vomited on set. Or just like, what are you doing? Like, you're ruining the production. Just like,
we still won.
We've all worked together. We still did win a Best Special Effects Award at the Richmond 48-hour film project. So that was cool, and we salvaged it pretty quick. But it was just like, we've all known each other for a long time, and we kind of have this cliquey vibe that if you don't really click with our vibe, then maybe you don't understand what we're doing, and you kind of have a panic attack, and you break down on production day. So we were just like, well,
right, man.
We have our own Blackmagic Ursa 4K camera. And we got some cheap LED panel lights. We're just going to flood this thing, and we can color correct everything in post. So that built us in a lot of more post times, and it could have been done much easier with correct lighting and such. But we got exactly the look we were going for because of Joe and Justin.
That's primarily Joe. Big ups to Joe on
all of the color grading,
a lot of the color grading and
scoping that allowed that to happen on independent layers, to where we could light the characters, we could light the background, and do it all independently. So.
And AJ Prime on YouTube, you see it in the chat. There's making a great point. You summon a demon, it's gonna kill you instantly. Don't summon demons.
Yeah, don't summon
just
demons.
read the magus. Just don't perform rituals from it, you idiot. What are you thinking?
It's really a cautionary tale about
demon summoning. You don't summon a succubi.
And we sent when we sent the script out, we got a lot of we got some feedback from people like, oh, this is some satanic stuff. I'm not having any part of this.
Right.
I was like, no, this is a story of, if anything, this is don't do black magic, right?
It's really a story of love at its heart.
It really is, isn't it?
If you think about it, it kind of is. It's the extent that this idiot will go to for his wife, who is messing around with deacons in church parking lots at midnight when she should be at home. A broken heart will make you summon a succubi.
It's the short version of Haunting of Hill House. You don't have to watch 10 episodes. You watch it in 5 minutes, and the guy played himself. He shouldn't have been fucking around with ghosts.
He did.
Yeah, it is. It's just It's a good old fashioned love story. But yeah, thank you. A whole genre of romance books. There is a whole genre of romance books. That is true. If we're talking about
there's a whole series of what people claim to be real life stories of their succubus encounters, and that's where the story really originated from. If you just do a Google for Veronica and Brad succubus story, it's a couple out of California who filed a police report based on their encounters with the succubus. So,
but back
lots
to
of real life inspiration.
And it was really just a natural gas leak and one too many mirrors in the house. They all just started fucking freaking out.
Swamp gas or something.
Well, one of the reasons, though, back to the lighting elements of it, one of the reasons to light up everything was then we could have control over how dark or what color, because as Brad gets closer to the mirror, the lighting on him changes. Did I miss something? Probably.
No. I'm just laughing at what Hex said.
Just by lighting up the room the way we did, it really gave us a lot of control in post to relight the scene and make it look right. Make it look the way we wanted to.
You want to show them?
Yeah.
What that
let's do it.
VFX reel? Take a look at how this thing progressed.
Let's hope it works. Let's see.
So we kind of got two VFX reels. We got one that's just going to be kind of like a before and after, and then we got another one that kind of breaks down some of the layers a little bit so you can see kind of what's going on.
So we'll do the before and after first.
Are you leaving our mics hot?
Yeah, I left the mics on.
Yeah, there's not really audio. It's just a little bit of background audio. On the...
So how did you make him so muscly?
Hey, that was tough.
That's just a plug-in for After Effects.
Oh, word. It's the Captain
spinach
America
Popeye.
plugin.
Now
or
this
the
feels
spinach Popeye plugin.
Now this feels like Mystery Science Theater. Talk.
Protein. That's right.
The protein plugin.
Now we're having some lag again.
Oh yeah, it is a little choppy.
Let's just
It's the slow-mo effect to give it more dramatic.
That's right. We're breaking it down frame by frame.
But yeah, as you can see,
I
that
wish we
room
could-
was
yeah.
super bright. Super.
I can't pause it to do it.
I know.
No, it's all right.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kick off the next one here because no, that's not the right one. All right, here we go.
Oh, what?
Oh, that's the behind-the-scenes picture. Oh, here we go.
Of Patrick saying something like, "Hey, man, I think we should get a llama for the next one," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So in this scene, oh, there it is. Look at that. Look at my man waxing that fire's ass. This is so good.
We'll just run this back a few times too.
I would, because there's some stuff in here that I'd like to point out thematically for the story.
Let's run it back.
It felt important. So in all of the two shots, okay, so this scene here where Connor and Jessica are facing each other, and we got them both in, right? A two shot. Well, if you noticed in the before, Jessica's not in the mirror, obviously. She's standing in front of it, so she had to be moved back. But also thematically, it's like they have two different colors, right? Like we see Brad is in this kind of gray, green, kind of drab environment, where Jessica is in this enticing, vibrant, especially when she has her yellow eyes. She's in that environment. There's a shot where we see Brad deliver the whatever it takes line, and then you start hearing the portal open up, where once that happens, you notice that his face gets split, where so his left side, our right side of his face is still in that world, but then the left side gets lit up with Jessica's purple, and it just makes this super cool storytelling using color grading.
Hey, I saw me in the background.
Yeah, we were in there for a second before
There's an audio dick.
Yeah, I was
There's
trying
a
to make
tripod back there.
I was trying to make it visually like they're both in two different worlds, and I used the lighting.
Excuse me.
So
I mean, you guys could speak on it too, and it would, you know what I'm saying, just knowing now to do the green screen on the mirror, you know what I'm saying?
well, yeah.
You
the
think
green
that,
screen
wasn't there
stuff.
pros and cons to that, you said? Like, it would have changed something.
The lighting would have been a lot different.
Right.
We actually shot Jessica in front of a green screen, and
Just didn't match.
it just wasn't gonna look as good. It's just going in and taking it out. We did it just kind of a safety thing, like if we ran out of time or if we ran into problems with the motion tracking, which we did run into problems with the motion tracking, but it was a lot easier to rotoscope still in Mocha than it would have been, say, 5 years ago. So anyway, so it was definitely preferable not to use the green screen footage. It just did not look right with the lighting.
Mirror Girl.
The Mirror Girl. That's right.
That's how I'm going to call her now. Big ups to Mirror Girl.
Absolutely.
Oh man, definitely, 100%.
The most confusing superhero ever. I'm Mirror Girl. What the fuck do you do? Oh.
Rip parts out.
So.
Oh yeah, Belluminati, gold boob.
Well, Conrad, you've kind of pulled a lot of questions and drawn attention to the color grading and the work that Justin and Joe have done, but you speak a little bit about some of the Foley you created and how you came up with some of the audio.
Yeah. So originally, Derek came to me and he wanted this to go more of like a tribal feel. His initial idea was didgeridoos. And we put them in there, but in not so obvious of a way. You can't really tell because it's dark, but there's a didgeridoo hanging on the wall back here. And we made a few cuts of the didgeridoo drone. And I think that was the important part of that, was this type of drone thing. And it was really sounding corny. So, and it was atonal too. So in the very beginning, there is some tonal soundscaping that happens. And we overlaid a Foley click on top of it, which was one of my daughter's toys. It was a little cube that had a crank on it. And so I just kind of recorded that and slowed it down a bunch. And so in the intro, that's what that sound is, that kind of grindy sound. But like I was saying before we premiered it, there's really no room for a score in something like this. The only chance you have is on the credits, but it seems a little abrupt to have dude's heart be ripped out, falls down, Jessica walks past him with a bloody arm, and then you know, you can't really do that. No. So this was more about soundscaping. And then because it was only 5 minutes long, what you couldn't tell with dialogue, we had to tell with audio. A good example would be when Connor is laying in bed, and he's rolling over and his hand falls on the bed, and what he's expecting to be his now dead wife, she's not there. And then he hears something off camera, which makes him wake up. Well, we had to figure out what makes him wake up. So a lot of our brainstorming was, what does it sound like when a succubus activates a portal through a scrying mirror?
Everyone's wondered this. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's what we do on Friday nights.
Yeah. And
every Friday after this, you're going to be a part of us. So we had to kind of figure out, what does that sound like? So that conversation leads into something you can't do prior to Jessica's performance, because that sound has to come from her performance. And the way that she kind of gave life to Veronica was, I mean, it was perfect, but it was kind of sultry. It was sinister. It was a little inviting. And so the portal opening couldn't be, it couldn't be this crazy blunt sound. It had also had to be kind of subtle and kind of inviting. And what we did on the day of shooting, before we shot anything, in order to isolate some of the room sounds out of it, because we shot this in Derek's house. The room that Derek is sitting in right now is where I was sitting, and Jessica was just to my right, and we did overdubs. And I had her do her lines in every type of a way. And she was a pro. You're a pro, Jessica. I mean, it was incredible. She knew when to lean into a mic, when to come out of a mic, how to say things softly, and just use her words like bubble gum. She would stretch things out and chew on words. It really was cool. And so one of the takes that we had was her going, I thought you'd come to expect me by now. And so we used her and started playing with all of the breaths in between her words. And that's how we started coming up with what this portal sounds like, what it sounds like when it opens up, and it's her awakening. And that was kind of the idea, was her going, and
taking that first breath again.
Exactly, like she's back and she's there. And that was one of her breaths from one of those overdubs that we did. And then it was, okay, so now the portal is open. And if it's like this electric field, it was nom nom, based on, the effect that they had, those rolling kind of spires of purple energy. Started playing around with like lightning or zaps and things like that, but it sounded too mad scientist. And so that's where Derek's initial idea of the didgeridoo drone came in, where it was something that was open, and while it was open, it was always on. So it had this tonal thing into it. And then you have to solve the problem of, what does it sound like when shit breaks bad? What does a succubi walking through a black mirror sound like? And that was me on a condenser microphone, a lot of that, with didgeridoo overlays, just making stupid sounds, and then affecting it and running it through, and then layering that up so that it matched. Okay, we're going to hear a big kind of bass hit for where the portal activates, and he's burnt the blood, and Jessica's about to come through and rip his heart out. So portal activates. Jessica steps through. That's another thing. She's crossing a threshold in from this demonic world into Brad's world. And then her intent gets realized. And now that portal it's going crazy. And that's when that stuff starts really breaking bad. And so that's everything that all of us kind of talked about in what does this sound like? And we just sat there for, a couple nights in a row, and I was mixing stuff together and saying, does it sound like this? And Joe would lay it on and say, yeah, that's good. Let's do this. And we made it work. But honestly, the hardest part was the heart grab.
Yeah. That sounds great. I love that sound.
Yeah. And that's celery and cornflakes. And one of my wife's yogurts in the cornflakes, or like like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something like that. I can't remember.
I thought it was Captain Crunch. Maybe I misspoke the other day.
No, it definitely wasn't Captain Crunch. Me and the Captain don't make it happen. We never have Captain Crunch in the house. No, I like the roof of my mouth too much, man. Fuck that old dude. So the tricky part was in the Foley scene, Connor is here. Jessica Felice is here, right? Connor's taller than average, and Jessica is average height. And so Patrick was operating the boom mic at one spot, and we would bring it in when we could, but there were no actual room sounds for me to use in that Foley mix. So it really was from the top, like, how do we get, what does it sound like when a succubi punches a fist through a chest? Is it wet? So if there's going to be an impact, right? There's going to be an initial thud. Then there's going to be bones breaking. Then there's going to be goop coming out. And then there's going to be a suction sound when you pop the heart out. So the bones were celery. You just take some celery and twist it, and that's his rib cage cracking. What up, Sean? The also with the goop sound when she's in there, that's cereal and yogurt. And the suction sound was me doing exactly what I did, just like doing that kind of stuff in the microphone, and then affecting it.
I don't think I needed to know that part.
No,
Yeah.
it was
Just
me
figured we'd
sucking
go with that.
the food gunk out of one of my cavities, and yeah,
Lovely.
and so it just kind of evolved from there. That was pretty much the process of the audio. I know I just droned on a lot, but
No, man. That
it was a little bit of a challenge to satisfy Derek, the director's vision for what he wanted, but also not compromising what I knew would work. I knew that, like, if I just go and pick that didgeridoo up and I hit a drone on that didgeridoo, you're going to be like, that doesn't fit right. And I knew it didn't, but the drone part would work right. So how do we make these things work? And it ended up just being me using the didgeridoo, but then going one day when my wife wasn't around, so she wouldn't laugh at me. Honestly, and that was it. And then you go through a bunch of post processing to make it sound like it's in that room, because another issue, and it's fucking stop me at any time. But another issue is the height difference on those two shots. If Jessica's here and Connor's up here,
right.
How do you get Jessica to sound like she's as clear as Connor is? Well, we had to use those overdubs, but on those overdubs, she's right here talking like this. So how do you get it to sound like the camera's here and they're over there? And so we just had to substitute a couple things here and there, and she wouldn't kill me. Yeah, it's so loud. Holly Berry's my wife, by the way. If you're in Twitch. Yeah, so pushing and pulling the audio back to where we needed it to make it sound like these two characters are actually having that conversation where they are. Jessica's voice had to be affected because at one part she's behind a mirror. But even then, they're still on the same plane, so they still needed to sound like they're on the same plane. So it was a lot of that, and I'm going on, and I really want to stress that everything that I did in the audio, it sounds like a lot of work. It really was nothing compared to the VFX and the shit that had to go into it to make something that we shot with floodlights at noon in some dude's bedroom. You're a trooper, Jessica. Look like
Mirror
it was
Girl, get it
shot at 2. Oh, Mirror Girl, my bad.
That's right.
At 2 a.m. In this weird scene. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
speaking of that, though, it was I had a lot of different looks for trying to make it look like the nighttime. And I know it came out really dark, but I just felt like it had to be.
Yeah, we have gotten some, I don't know if somebody said that in chat, I know we've gotten some feedback from festivals that it shows a little dark, and it's the nature of the festival and how they have their room set up. I mean, some of them are, as nice as the Ocean City Film Festival, where we're in a real theater that's showing, nationwide theatrical releases, that has a great projectionist running it, like Jarrett, if you're still out there.
Yep.
We get an awesome
Big up.
we get a great
Get that mic closer to
projector.
your mouth. Sorry.
So not really that loud.
Oh, not
There
me.
you go. There you go. There you go.
You got a great projector with a great bulb and a great surround system, and
And a
Good
great
quality
big
screen.
man operating it.
right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's in a hotel, in a convention room with somebody just happens to have a projector and they're screening it on a pop-up stand or whatever, and people are coming in and out of the room, and there's light bleeding, and so.
But I also take issue with that, because the money shot of the entire short is Jessica, Veronica, Mirror Girl in front of the portal, staring with her succubi vision with that heart.
Hmm.
And that is
Yeah.
bright and that is well lit, where everything else is kind of in the dark. And it also goes to show Brad's disorientation from waking up and seeing this. And he didn't expect it to work because none of his rituals had worked before. He was getting close, but it didn't really, he hadn't really
Yeah.
gotten to a point where she
It's-
should have been summoned.
It's the first minute, really.
Yeah.
Part of the idea there was to kind of make the audience uneasy, and that was Joe's recommendation of, you're expecting more out of the camera, but you're kind of trapped there watching this monologue a little bit, and it gives you time to take in the repetitions of the fan just kind of droning, and
I totally agree, Hext.
you start to see the mirror there and the little ritual table that's next to it, kind of give the audience enough time to scan the setting so you know where the variables of
Yeah, where all the story elements are.
Mhm.
So that first minute, that the area that becomes too dark, I think, is the area around the mirror. So if you're not able to take in that information, then I can see that feedback being, suitable for maybe not getting into some festivals. But
Yeah.
they also have shoddy equipment, I would say, because if you were like the Ocean City Film Fest, you'd have it in a premiere theater and it would show really well.
Yeah.
Hex says it's dark but not black. The characters are well lit, and you honestly couldn't tell that it wasn't reverse 3-point lighting. And again, that yeah,
Thank you.
that goes to the credit of these guys who've, I mean, you guys have, both Joe and Justin, this is what you went to school for, right? I mean, this is your background,
Yep.
is this type of stuff. So
Unfortunately, I hadn't really gotten to play with a whole lot of VFX type stuff for quite a few years. But every time you guys come to me and say, "Hey, let's do something," I'm all about it. I like diving back into it and trying to relearn the tools and just get used to it again.
those VO bits that Jessica is talking about in chat, they were awesome, and I still have all of them with Connors. So anytime you want just some VO of you going, I got that, because that was originally what the portal was going to be. It's going to look at, oh, where's my wife? Oh, there she is. Just kidding. I don't have one of you doing that.
Do you want to go ahead and play some of the behind the scenes like photos and stuff? We can just keep talking over that, just so they can kind of
want to
see some of
watch
the fun of the shoot day.
What did Patrick say? What did you just say?
Oh, I'm just thinking. I just want to watch it again now.
Yeah, I think we couldn't watch it again.
We can.
It's only
Yeah,
fun.
it's 5 minutes.
You want to watch it again?
Let's do the
Let's
behind
do
the scenes
behind
footage
the
real quick,
scenes
and
stuff,
then we'll watch it.
All right.
And yeah, you gonna leave the mics hot for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the mic.
'Cause I want to talk some shirt.
Yeah, we can talk some shit over some of this here. Now, I don't know how this slideshow works, so I'm just gonna kick it off, and it's just see.
Yeah, Gold Boob. We're gonna play it again. So that's Daniel Oates. He's the guy who did the actual heart grab, the guy with the hot glue gun. He developed that practical effect that Jessica reached her hand into. All right, I'm drinking some OJ. Got to get that vitamin C.
Oh yeah, this was really early. Oh yeah, there's our heart there. Before it was covered in blood. Or maybe I'm a bit ahead of
Yeah, we didn't have Daniel here. At least I don't think he joined in the chat. You'll have to get him on. There he is. There's a picture of him, I think, right?
Yeah.
So what is it? Just these 3 pictures?
It's
these
supposed to
4
be more
pictures?
than that. It's supposed to be more than that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like.
But,
There's Patrick
I don't
looking pensive.
Yeah, why did you meet
Where
you?
is
No,
my
it is
sorry,
just
I
mention
don't-
these 3.
There he is again.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Let me see if I can.
Technical difficulty.
That's
In the
Connor's
heart again. In case you
Yeah,
There-
that's what is that? That's a gelatin heart, by the way.
They're all there, I swear.
That was a 2-part silicone mold that was made out of gelatin. There's some little homunculi there on the countertop. Not sure what that is.
All right, if I see myself one more time, man.
Yeah, might as well kill this thing. Not sure
Alright.
what happened to that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It didn't work. Stupid slideshow thing didn't work. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll get it back. We'll get it back. You want to run it back now that we've talked about everything and kind of pointed out some stuff? You want to
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's watch it one more time.
Run back our dark movie.
All right. All right, I'm going to bring the mics down again. Unless you want to
All
talk
right.
over it.
Nah.
Let's just watch it.
It's been 58 days since I lost my wife. Everyone seems convinced it was the pills, but I'm certain that the church group played a role in driving her to the depths. The late night gatherings and the strange locations were easy to overlook, but something about how the deacon said Veronica is still with us has led me to attempt my own unorthodox methods. Now, after 19 summons, I'm finally getting the ritual down to an efficient and repeatable process. The Magus has been instrumental in its instructions on piercing the veil. I'm now able to focus my intentions more clearly to channel Veronica.
I thought you'd come to expect me by now.
But I didn't invoke you. Every moment I can steal back is worth whatever the cost may be to my sanity. Does this mean you found a way through the veil?
There is something I need from you before I can break the pool of the underworld.
The underworld? Anything, Veronica, just tell me what must be done.
Spill some of your blood into the bowl of oil and light it like usual. But this time, I want you to stare straight into the mirror. Look at me.
Look directly into the mirror?
It's the only way to liberate me from the confines of this world.
Whatever it takes.
All right, mics are up.
So there it is again.
Yeah,
Thanks
wish-
for everybody sticking through.
yeah. I wish we could have watched the 4K version. I just
Damn right it did.
I want
It wasn't Captain Crunch. I'm telling you, that is an inferior cereal brand, Gold Boob. Don't get Captain Crunch. It leaves a film in your mouth. Anyway, I got a problem with that asshole.
Anyway, yes, thank you everyone for hanging out.
Yeah. We'll have to get you that cape, Jessica.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be well deserved for sure.
Thank
Mirror
you.
Girl. I'll write you a theme song. Yeah. So guys, what are we working on now?
Well, right now, working on another short that we made, kind of a workshop that we did. It's probably about 80% there. It's called Windows. It's about a drug deal that goes wrong, but it is a horror, and there's some gore in it, and it's a pretty cool little thing we filmed on a weekend. So I'm working on that.
Yeah, we're in post-production on that. We have a script that's floating around right now that we're tooling around and looking to probably start shooting that in a field with tall grass right around tick season-ish.
Yeah.
So that should be
Conrad's not
fucking
really feeling
fun.
that.
No, they love me. They love this pasty skin, dude.
We're gonna go out there. We're gonna mow all that grass down. We're gonna make sure
We're gonna
no
do the
insect
county's job
touches
so
our
we
man,
can film.
Conrad.
Yes.
I don't want no.
But-
It's Lyme disease, dude. I'm not trying to get no government-made crap. I want none of that Operation Paperclip bullshit. Get out of here.
That's another stream.
That is a different stream. That's a conspiracy chat.
That's the stream tomorrow night behind the docks.
We did have things lined up for this past, or well, almost a week ago, the 21st. We were supposed to be doing some location scouting down in Fredericksburg and meeting some folks at a restaurant that were going to let us shoot there. And
Belluminati. Holly Berry with the Belluminati.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Coronavirus. fucking
it
sucks.
wasn't Taco Bell that we were going to shoot in, but that would be cool to get a Taco Bell location.
That would be cool.
You got to make a reservation at Taco Bell.
Yeah,
For
tell 'em
for
we're gonna have
you
a wedding.
and one Jason Siegel.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but
yes.
that all
Jessica.
went to shit.
Yeah. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, you were amazing. Connor was amazing. It really.
Awesome to work with.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah.
Very
that was a
effortless.
fun day. It was a fun day.
Yeah.
What we'll do, because everyone should go and follow Jessica Felice. She gets into
Yes.
a lot of cool stuff. Her Instagram is always active. Her Facebook is always active. So head over, because we're not sure if Twitch and YouTube, because we're streaming to 2 different places, if YouTube will allow us to start posting up external links. So what we'll do is on our Facebook page, we'll put up
Just put it. Somebody do it in chat right here.
well, yeah, give it a try. See if we can do it. But there'll still be on our Facebook page all of Jessica Felice's social media stuff, her site, everywhere you can go to reach out to her, because she was phenomenal to work with.
Super cool.
Yeah, kind of very very easy, understood what we were going for and was down for it. You know, it's like, hey, we want you to look sexy and stand in front of this mirror and then plunge your hands into a bunch of blood and rip this dude's heart out. She was great. She brought her
Awesome.
own contacts to the party, man.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, cool, man.
Yeah, and her own wardrobe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right.
Yeah, I was very disappointed the slideshow didn't work, so you couldn't see Derek's face as the blood was all hitting the floor.
It's a great picture. We got to post that on
Yeah, it is.
Facebook.
Yeah.
It is a really great
Yeah.
picture.
Luckily, my wife was out of town for the weekend, so she couldn't stop me from dropping a gallon of blood on my master bedroom carpet.
Again.
Again. Fucking blood
Yeah.
again, Derek.
Yeah, we had a drop cloth down. Most of it came up, but it was more than I had expected. That was for sure.
It was a lot of blood. It was.
It was really the
Some of it's
duty
still
that you
there.
had to answer for.
Yes.
I get the blood, but why is there shit everywhere? Well, you know, I mean,
Yeah, one
Making
precipitates
the
the other.
movie.
you know. The first cut was a Golgotha comes out of it, but we didn't cast her.
No.
So,
But yeah.
yeah, word.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jessica, for coming and hanging out through the whole stream and
Yes. Jessica, thank you.
being fun in chat as a
Yeah.
mirror girl.
Everybody
Appreciate
showed
that.
up. I hope everyone liked it. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us tonight.
We plan on doing some more streams. So
Yeah.
if you're watching us through YouTube, subscribe there. If you're watching us through Twitch, give us a follow. On YouTube, hit the bell.
Yes.
We'll we're planning on making it a weekly thing while we're quarantined and we're in between projects. We think it's a good time to start having more dialogues about some of the behind the scenes stuff and some of the difficulties and et cetera, make it more filmmaking and audio and cinematography based. So if you're down with that, sub.
In addition to that, sorry.
No, please, just a little self-promotion. Don't worry about it.
No, just wanted to say also, down the road, if Jessica and anybody else is, in the industry that's interested, I'd like to have a segment where we focus on other people's work and kind of interview them a little bit and let them promote some of their work a little bit as a way to kind of collaborate more with folks instead of just kind of being us first, the chat, to kind of bring some people in to be part of the stream if folks are interested in that. I know Jessica is busy. She's always off on some other shoot or doing some cosplay or something. So, down the line.
Yeah. We got a lot of things in the works. And it would be cool to have another filmmaker to talk about some of their work and stuff and, do a little cross promotion. So it'd be cool.
It would be awesome to get a different perspective on her because I only know her from this project and the stuff I've seen on Instagram. And I'm not one of those people who comments on stuff online. Like I just don't do it. So I'm not going to see something and be like, "Where are you? What are you doing today? What is this a picture of?" I'm not going to do that.
You got a problem with that?
No, I'm just an introvert, dude. I just like sitting in my room with my headphones on making sounds. I don't like participating with the outside world.
I know.
The only time I talk to you guys is when I'm on a video call with you.
Yes, wash your hands 20 seconds. Stay safe, stay at home. It's an introvert's world now. So,
dude, it's the only way to be. Why would you want to be extroverted? We knew this was going to happen.
Well, I knew something was going to happen.
It's the assholes who are out there at bars and stuff like that. Home brewers. They're not getting anything. Sean knows what I'm talking about. He's not going to a bar. He's just sitting on. I got my own beer right here.
Remote D&D, yes. Big Tree. We used to stream some Dungeons and Dragons. Those were good times.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this is how we do a lot of our post-effect work too. Is we just get in Discord and video chat and share screens and
work on stuff. Together.
Discord is like an amazing tool for doing this kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's a good point. We had talked about. We've been trying to bring some folks into our Discord for a little bit here and there as part of a collaborative process, and this is really just kind of an extension of that idea.
Yeah.
Will it be a link for the Discord next show?
Yes, we're gonna make a new Discord, public Discord, just focused on Cave House Studios and try and get some filmmakers in there and so people can promote their stuff. So yeah, we're gonna be working on that too. So yeah.
Good time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap. Thanks you,
everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Thanks, guys, for watching it. Hex, Jessica, Sean, Jarrett. Thank you, Gold Boob.
Big Tree.
I miss you, dude. Dudette. Yeah, thanks, guys. And we'll be back on hopefully next weekend.
Yeah.
And talking some more shit. So, yeah, if you haven't subbed, hit the bell. If you watch us on YouTube, give us a follow on Twitch if you want to watch us there. I will say that the video quality on Twitch seemed to be a little bit better on the stream than it was on YouTube. We're affiliated there, so maybe it's because we have a higher bandwidth, like bit rate that we can pump content out on Twitch. So either way, we'll be there. And
thanks for the
bits. We'll see you guys soon. Oh, go Boob with them biddies.
Thank you. Yes.
Biddies on biddies on biddies.
All right. See everybody again.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next weekend.